for a Christmas competition. 4 siblings are set to bring their very best to the Chonked kitchen. I'm your host, Tia Allen. Today we have a very special Christmas episode. So, grab your hot chocolate, deck your halls, and get ready to meet our worthy competitors. Up first, Chef Sarah.
Hello, my name is Chef Sarah. Gained some fame after winning the last Chonked.
You are the Chonked champion!
I've sharpened my skills over the summer. I haven't been in the kitchen since university started. We'll see how this goes.
The question is, can she really keep that Chonked championship title? Up next, we welcome Chef Tia with hopefully a ferocious comeback. Hello, I'm Chef Tia, and I didn't do too hot on the last episode, but it did motivate me to get my act together and come back even better than before someday. This isn't the end of Chef Tia. Since the last episode, I've done some intensive studying at summer camp for a few weeks, and we're gonna ignore the fact that Sarah was there too. But I feel much more ready this time. I'm successful, I'm powerful, I'm handsome, I'm happy.
Successful, powerful, handsome, happy.
Best of luck to that competitor. Up next, we welcome Chef Mika, who was a finalist in the last episode and almost made it.
That's me!
Hello, I'm Chef Mika. You may recognize me as that crazy girl who got second place in the last episode of Chonked. We don't talk about that. I think the biggest downfall I had last time was my lack of confidence. So this time I'm going to have as much confidence as humanly possible. Confidence is key.
Last up, we have who came in last place last time, Peter.
Hello, my name is Peter. I'm 12 years old and I'm serious this time. I'm gonna win. I've been practicing in Breath of the Wild, learning how to bake new things. Mika may say she's confident, but I'm confident that I'm not confident in her confidence.
This is a Christmas episode, which means all the mystery basket ingredients will be Christmas themed. Due to professional purposes, the competition will be done in a bracket, starting with an entree round where the youngest battle each other and the oldest compete one-on-one. Whoever wins these will be sent to the final round. Each round will be an entree round which lasts 45 minutes. The contestants' dishes are judged on taste, presentation, and creativity. Joining us today are our famous Chonked judges.
Hi, I'm Judge Nation. Huh? Hello, I'm Judge Nathan, and I made my debut judging food and being a food critic on the last Chonked episode, and to be honest, I'm not sure why they invited me back. Having said that, I've spent quite a bit of time watching Food Network and trying to hone my skills, so I hope to bring some more experience to the table this time.
Hi, my name is Heather, and I'm excited to be back for this episode of a special Christmas edition. I'm looking forward to the dishes.
The contestants may or may not be related to the judges, so to keep things fair, we're going to present the plates to the judges blindly. Hello, chefs.
Hello.
How are we feeling today? Well, as you know, the mystery basket ingredients are all Christmas themed. Let's open them up. We have dried cranberries, marshmallows, bananas, and eggnog. 45 minutes are on the clock. Your round starts now.
So I opened the basket and I had a little bit of an idea, but it was very foggy. Bananas, marshmallows, eggnog, and craisins.
What are craisins?
Craisins. It's like a cranberry raisin. It's a craisin.
As soon as I saw the marshmallows, I knew I wanted to make some sort of marshmallow and yam mix. I started peeling the yam. Since it was gonna take a while, I had to improvise. I only peeled the middle part and then I chopped it into thirds and just used the middle part. And since I wanted to be unique, instead of just boiling the yam in the pot, I sliced it into slices and steamed them in a steamer.
I knew I wanted to make some kind of breakfast theme, so I wanted to go for the waffles. Because usually waffles have a little bit of a sweet component in them. I was going to use the eggnog, the cranberries, and the bananas and the marshmallows as some sort of topping for the waffle, but I didn't really know how I was gonna do it yet. I started to make the waffles, yes, with the mix. It's not cheating. Instead of milk, I used eggnog. So, because I really wanted the waffle to have the eggnog flavor, I read all the ingredients on the carton and I decided to add a bit more of the spices into the mix to, really make the flavors pop.
I tasted eggnog for the very first time and I can firmly say I don't like eggnog. It tasted very sweet and too much eggs.
He hated it. I loved it.
I thought it tasted a bit like marshmallow, so I decided I would add it in with the marshmallow mix that would go on top of the yam.
Everything's going well, my confidence is at a 10, the waffle mix is going good, and I know this trick, it wasn't on the box, but I separated the eggs and I whipped up the egg whites to make it fluffy.
I realized I need to make something else than just the yam, so I wanted to make some sort of puff pastry muffin kind of thing. The more I made it, it turned a bit more into like a pie. I cut up the cranberries and chopped up bananas. I was gonna make some sort of banana chocolate cranberry baby pie. As I was putting the chocolate into the puff pastry, I couldn't shred it because I didn't want to shred my hands, so I had to chop it into fine pieces. I had one problem though, it needed to get in the oven as fast as possible. And I decided to put the puff pastry in before it was done preheating to just get a bit more time in the oven.
Time to start thinking about the toppings. I knew I was going to mush the banana, add that to whipped cream to make like a banana cream. And then I wanted to melt the marshmallows with water. That's a little trick so they don't puff up. And then add whipped cream to that. But I had no idea what I was going to do with the cranberries. Should I make a blueberry cranberry sauce? Should I mix it up and just sprinkle it in the pancakes? It was so hard. And then I had an idea. I took the cranberries, I blended them in our German blender. It works very well, by the way. I added a little bit of water to help rehydrate it. I tasted it, it was so delicious, so good. I added it into the whipped cream. Majestic. My mouth went boom. That was all off script. I have no idea where I am. The only thing that was really worrying me was that it was too basic. It was just all of the ingredients mixed with whipped cream. And Peter was doing this whole entire like muffin pie thing, which is so creative.
It wasn't cooking in time, so I had to add tinfoil onto the pie to speed things up. I didn't know which side goes down, either the shiny side or the matte side, but I decided to put the shiny side down. The yam finished steaming, but the marshmallow eggnog failed in the microwave. It got really gooey because I left it out for a while. So I'm gonna have to redo that, but that's fine.
8 minutes were on the clock and I was feeling pretty good, and I started to plate. I added all of the different toppings into different colored bowls. It was looking very pretty. The only thing that was a little bit ugly was I just had a plate with a waffle on it.
I decided to plate the yams. I glazed the marshmallow and eggnog. I checked on the pie and it still wasn't cooked, but it was baking.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, hands up!
I plated it and got it on the table just in time.
Did you taste test anything?
No.
The time was up, I got all the stuff that I wanted on there. Everything was looking pretty good except for that one plate with that waffle. It's all gonna come down to taste.
With the yam, my confidence level is about 8 and the pie is 2.
Welcome judges and chefs. We have 2 beautiful dishes here. The mystery ingredients we have today are eggnog, cranberries, marshmallows, and bananas. To your right, we have a crispy eggnog waffle. This chef really wants you to experience an interactive meal, so the chef provided 3 different toppings for you to try. Going from top to bottom, we have a creamy banana topping, a sweet and tart cranberry topping, and for the sweet tooth, which I know y'all ain't, so I didn't make much of this, a sweet marshmallow topping.
Thank you. It's very banana-y. Very good. It's like a dessert. My favorite kind of supper, just dessert.
Now, this next dish is a scrumptious byeeeeee pie with cranberry, chocolate, and banana. Side of my take on yam with marshmallows. It's a sliced steamed yam with a marshmallow eggnog glaze.
You can taste the eggnog marshmallow.
Yes, you can. It's actually pretty good.
It's very good.
This is, what is it called again? A byeeeeee?
Byeeeeee pie.
Oh, banana and chocolate.
And cranberries.
So good.
So good.
Goes really well.
These dishes are made by expert chefs that must have a lot of experience. Exact good combination of carbs, chocolate, bananas, and cranberries.
Chefs, please give us a while so we can discuss both your dishes. Thank you.
When they tried Peter's dish, they were like all over it. They're like, oh, this is so good. It's Pillsbury dough. No offense to Pillsbury. Kind of, yeah, a little bit.
I was very hopeful when they said that the pie tasted good because that was the thing I was worried about, but I didn't know for sure what they really thought, if they were just being nice. They said they could really taste the eggnog and the yams, which made me very happy.
There's a lot of effort put into this dish.
Yes, separate flavor combinations.
To put on top of waffles.
Eggnog and the waffles, yeah. It's a very
But
complex dish.
I must
You can
say,
taste
I
in
can't
all of
really
them.
taste the eggnogs in this one. But I definitely can taste it in
But
this one.
there's eggnog here. You can even smell it.
The flavor doesn't really, I mean, like this does.
I think the judges have made a decision. Now we'll welcome back the chefs. Come back! So chefs, it was a very close call. Whose dish is on the chomping block?
I have no idea who was on the chopping block. It could have been either one of us.
Chef Peter, you've been chopped.
This dish is a bit more complex.
This one looks like it requires a lot more skills to make than this one. This one seems pretty simple but tasty.
Yes, and sometimes simple and tasty
Yes.
is all you need.
Yeah.
But in this show,
Not here,
it's
apparently.
not.
Alright, well that's a really good, confident answer for who's on the chomping block. Looks like I'm going to the next round, baby! Woo!
I got a lot closer this time. I almost beat Mika. Maybe next time I can make it fast.
Hello, chefs. Please open up your mystery baskets. We have a partridge in a pear tree, ginger, bread, get it?
Gingerbread!
And figs. Time is 45 minutes, as you know. So now we're gonna start now.
When I opened my basket, my mind was still on breakfast food from eating all of Mika's leftover waffles from last round. I was thinking, after seeing the ginger, to make congee with the pears and the figs in it. Shout out to Ming, who made me congee almost every week when I was at university.
Sarah had an idea right away, and I had nothing. My mind was empty. Empty! I've never cooked much with ginger before, but I know it's used to infuse certain things. I tried the figs, they looked super gross, and the texture was so seedy and nasty. At least the ginger is cool, am I right? If it's a bad symbol, I'm sorry. So I took the ginger, and here's a nice little life hack. You just use a spoon to peel it. Works like jam.
I told her that.
Why won't you let me pretend I'm smart?
I knew I had to start stewing the congee as soon as possible. I grabbed the leftover rice we had in the fridge, put it in a pot. I didn't know how much water it would take, so I added just enough to submerge the rice. I chopped up the ginger, threw it in with some of the dried figs, and to try and rehydrate them.
I decided to make a salad with figs and pears, and this is good news because I spent a lot of the summer cutting salad in bulk, so I was ready. Then I tried to figure out what to do with the ginger. I found some mushrooms and I washed them. I got some onions. It was nicely diced and ready to go into a pan. I sauteed the onions with the mushrooms. I cut the bread in the most professional way possible to make 2 open-faced sandwiches. I added some red wine into the mushrooms and onions just to infuse it. I thought that that flavor could go and pair really well with ginger. I added a heavy amount of red wine because I knew it would evaporate. And I also added in cornstarch to kind of thicken it to make a gravy. I chopped up the ginger. I chopped up the I chopped up some ginger. I wanted the ginger to infuse the mushrooms, not to be actually a part of it, so I put it in 5 chunks and put them in just for the mushrooms to soak up the flavor.
It's Christmas themed chonked, so I thought I'd get a bit creative and add some nutmeg in. Realized my dish needed some protein, but I know that cashews are traditionally something that go into congee. I thought it would go well with the pears and figs too, so I added some cashews in. I still needed to use the bread somehow, and I remembered when Jia Po, my mom's mom, grandma, used to make congee out of youtiao, which is a type of Chinese donut that our uncle would make for us. She'd cut it up with scissors into the congee. And so I thought sourdough could be a healthy alternative to youtiao. After trying it, the congee still needed a bit more flavor, so I added some fish sauce and some soy sauce. I saw Tia pulled out the vegetable broth, and so I splashed some of that in there too.
The key thing that made the mushrooms turn more into a gravy was adding the vegetable stock. And so I added lots of that and it turned into a really nice consistency. It smelled really rich and the flavors really worked, which I was really happy about. I left the mixture to sit on the stove so it could reduce. I finally started to put together the salad with my cut lettuce. I chopped up figs and pears. I added it to the salad and it was looking good.
The only thing left to do was decorate. So I cut little fans of pear slices, half of a nice looking fig, and I pressed stars out of some slices of sourdough.
Time was running out, so I started to arrange my salad in a wreath shape because it's nice and festive, and then I put the toast in the center of the plate. There were 3 minutes left and I couldn't find any butter. I started pouring Italian salad dressing all over the wreath, and I made sure to put the bread in a bowl so it wouldn't get soggy from the salad dressing either. With 1 minute left, I found the butter and it was frozen. And it wouldn't spread at all on the bread. And So I only really got to finish one until I gave up and I started plating the mushrooms on top. But honestly, the judges are kind of amateur and they won't even notice. I didn't say that.
I tested out my congee and it was exactly the comforting Christmas congee I was going for and raced to the table.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hands up.
My time was done and I had gotten everything on the plate. I guess it's up to the judges now, but honestly, I could see my dish at a 5-star restaurant. Not to toot my own horn, but only thing is that the salad might be a little bit too boring for them because it's literally just pears and figs and lettuce.
Tasty creativity is there, and so that's what I'm holding on to at this point.
Welcome back, judges and chefs. As you can see, these mystery ingredients aren't really Christmas related, but they took a little theme for this one and it's all punny. So here we have partridge in a pear tree, bread and ginger, or should I say gingerbread. And then we have byeeeeee pudding. We will start with the dish on your left. It's Christmas morning and Jimbo took some inspiration from the Hallmark movie last night. This ginger Christmas congee edition is bursting with flavor to warm your soul, including figs, pears, cashews, and sliced homemade sourdough bread as a healthy alternative to Chinese donuts.
There's cashews.
There's cashew in here and figs. And they call it congee. It's pretty good.
Yeah, that's good.
It's a good congee.
For congee, it's good, yeah.
In front of you, we have the second dish. Sure, you've had a classic mushroom dip before, but have you ever tried it infused with red wine and ginger? That's what I thought. This rich, open-faced mushroom sandwich is surrounded by a stunning pear and fig Christmas wreath. This ain't no garbage in a pear tree. This is all you'll be wanting for Christmas. Please enjoy.
Garbage in the pear tree. Flavoring. And now for the mushroom dip.
Pears you can really taste in the figs.
Have you tried the mushroom dip yet?
Not yet, no. As I'm cleaning up on the salad here.
This is really good. It just tastes like beef dip, but no beef.
Thank you, judges. Thank you, chefs. Now, chefs, please give the judges a little bit of time to discuss.
Go away, chef. I have to say, yeah.
This has got a lot of like different textures. I guess I just don't like it. The presentation is like beautiful and the textures are defined.
I think the concept is pretty brilliant to put everything together, and the flavor kind of is good.
The fact that the ingredients are all in this dish and it tastes good, but the idea is good, but the execution and the taste it didn't quite make it.
Thank you, judges. Now we will call the chefs back. Welcome back, chefs. The judges have made their final decision. Whose dish is on the chonking block? Chef Sarah, you've been chonked.
Chef Sarah, now that we know who got chunked. This dish, it was including all of the combined ingredients, but in this dish, the ingredients were just a little bit more defined and you could tell them apart. This dish, it just kind of all came into one big taste, flavor sensation. So for that reason, we had to chonk it.
That looks like it took more skill.
Ooh,
This was last.
burn!
You are going on to the final round.
Yeah.
I was chonked for doing actual cooking when the winning dish was a salad with sliced bread and a coffee mushroom gravy recipe. Was I surprised that I was chonked? No. I completely forgot to cater to my audience. The judges were craving mushrooms on bread with Costco salad dressing.
I'm so excited that I'm going to the finals, and I think I'll have a shot because I took down the last Chonk champion. So how hard can Mika be to take down? Am I right? Don't tell her, but like, how hard would it be?
I'm right here.
I can't believe I'm facing Tia.
Hello, chefs.
Hello.
How are you two? Tia Allen went through a bit of a glow down. We're just gonna continue on with the show. Chefs, please open up your mystery baskets. We have roasted chestnuts, candy canes, Brussels sprouts, and instant gravy.
I call this snowman. I call this snowman.
Okay. Your time starts now!
The timer started and my red hat snowman was off.
Welcome to round 2. Spoiler alert, this was so stressful. When I opened the basket, I actually had no idea what I was going to make. Usually when I first open the basket, you know, there's some things that I can think about, but this was actually insane. I tasted the chestnuts and they were actually really good. I enjoyed them, but I had no idea what I was going to do with them. So my idea was to roast the Brussels sprouts, but also add some of the candy canes in it to give it this little peppermint flavor. So I decided to bring out my trusty old friend that helped me from last round, the immersion German blender, and I started blending up those candy canes. But Tia also needed to blend her candy canes, so we shared blenders!
When I saw the candy canes, I didn't really trust my ability to get the peppermint and mix it with something savory, so I decided I was just gonna cheat a little bit and make muffins. It's not really a dessert, it's muffins, right? The only problem is Mika is a pro baker and I have no idea how to bake anything. I've never baked a cake, I've never baked anything other than cookies. And chocolate macaroons. But that was with Mika, so you know what? I'm gonna die. I tried to recall all the things I knew about baking. I know you have wet ingredients, dry ingredients. So I started with the wet ingredients. I carefully measured out some butter and sugar and I creamed them together. And then I got 2 eggs and I added it to it. I don't know if you need to beat the eggs. I did.
So I started to wash and peel the Brussels sprouts, but they were taking a very long time. Tia, on the other hand, was doing a bunch of things. Seeing Tia bake these muffins, she was doing everything wrong. She didn't even add baking powder. Because it took so long for me to cut every Brussels sprout and peel everything, I was very rushed now. I was tossing the Brussels sprouts in the olive oil, putting some salt and pepper in it, and now I was going to add my crushed candy canes. I was scared the candy canes were going to melt and burn because it has sugar in it, but I risked it. I really wanted the peppermint flavor profile to come through the Brussels sprouts, so I added some peppermint extract and I added a lot of the crushed candy canes. So I chucked them into the broiler and put on a 5-minute timer.
I started on the dry ingredients. I put a little bit of salt in and I put some flour as well. I just added random amounts. I don't know why I bothered with having measuring utensils because I never measured anything. I didn't. It was all from my head. I was looking everywhere for chocolate chips and I thought I'd lost them. Then finally in the depths of the Chonked pantry, which is a mess. Like seriously, who cleans around here? I found the chocolate chips. I added some cocoa powder to the dry ingredients along with chocolate chips and all in random measurements. Everything's random. Life is random. I added some of the crushed peppermint into the dry ingredients and I just kept mixing everything with my hands. I was way too confident. I didn't care about any formalities. I just mixed that sucker with my hands. Eventually I realized my stupidity and I grabbed a whisk. I just kept adding the dry ingredients to the wet batter until I got the perfect consistency. And then I taste tested it and it was really good.
I tasted Tia's batter and it was pretty good, but in baking everything is very technical and specific, so we'll have to see how these turn out.
After I had prepared all the batter with lots of effort, I finally decided to preheat the oven. I pulled out the cupcake liners and I knew I only needed 2 to put on the dish, but I made it extra so I didn't have to waste any batter. Hashtag no waste life.
I checked on the Brussels sprouts and they were a little bit burnt on the top, but I just think they need a little bit longer.
I started peeling and cutting my Brussels sprouts, and I learned from Mika's chaos that I needed to go super fast. She spent a lot of tedious time trying to cut it, but I was just gonna go crazy and make sure I get it done really quickly so I can move on.
Now it's time to tackle the chestnuts. I had a very hazy idea, but it was an idea. Mashed potatoes?
We had no idea what to do with the chestnuts, but then it hit me. I was going to make stuffing. I started cutting up some olive bread into small cubes and I was gonna add in the Brussels sprouts and also the chestnuts. So I started frying the Brussels sprouts because I knew they would take the most time to cook. I mean, Mika's have been in the oven for a very long time now. Around this time the oven was preheated, so I put in my muffins to bake. I was pretty scared that the Brussels sprouts wouldn't be cooked. I spent a lot of time frying them and also seasoning them, and meanwhile I had my cut up cubes of bread and I put 2 eggs in to make it more into a batter that I can pour into the pan.
I don't think it'd be a very good idea to actually make mashed potatoes and then add mashed chestnuts, because that would be kind of clashing, you know? So I decided to just blend the chestnuts on its own. I started blending the chestnuts in our magic bullet and I added some hot water to smooth everything out, but it was really weird and I was like, what am I doing? So my plan was to mash all the chestnuts and then add a lot of seasoning to kind of mask the chestnut flavor. And I also really wanted to make it as smooth as possible so that there's no chunks and the judges won't get disgusted by the texture. But this was really taking up a lot of my time because I was constantly blending it for the texture, adding so much seasoning. I added oregano, rosemary, thyme, salt, and a lot of garlic powder, trying to mask the flavor. It didn't taste as good as I thought, but I added some more of the spices, and I think it will be good once I add the gravy on top. I was spending so much time on the chestnuts, going back and forth with adding more water to smooth it out and adding more spices, but I mean, what else was I going to do? Wait a minute.
There was a funky smell starting to brew in the kitchen.
Do you smell something burning? I'm speechless. Burnt to a crisp! 45 minutes is not enough time! What am I going to do? There's only 8 minutes left! So I stressfully and panically, I don't even know if that's a word, but I don't care. I was peeling out every single Brussels sprout that had a little bit of ash on it, and I was putting it into a bowl. I probably salvaged only like half of it, but it was more than I thought, and I'm glad that I still have something that I could serve to the judges. The only downside of this is that the outer side of the Brussels sprout is all the stuff that has all the flavor. So I had to improvise, and when I was plating, I sprinkled some of the crushed candy canes on top and prayed that they will still flavor.
I added the bread and the mixture into the wok. Don't ask me why I'm using a wok, I have no idea. I put it all in. I probably should have waited longer because the Brussels sprouts were still pretty hard. I slightly checked my muffins and they were definitely not baked yet, so I quickly put them back in, hope for the best that they would maybe rise. I started to prepare the gravy, and by prepare I mean it's instant gravy. You just put it in a bowl and add a cup of water. So I did that, and then I added that to the wok and it made this beautiful smell. There was a lot of gravy and it didn't really look like stuffing at all, so I was just hoping that it would evaporate and become a thickened consistency. There's 8 minutes left on the clock and I'm looking at this wok of juicy bread and I don't know what this is. I chopped up my chestnuts and I put them in with the stuffing. And then I heard the timer go off, so I checked my muffins and I used a toothpick to check to see if they were baked, and I decided to put them in for 2 more minutes.
So last but not least, I scooped the chestnut mush onto the plate and made a little trough for it for the gravy. It looked like literal doo-doo.
I finally checked my muffins and they were looking great, other than the fact that they were very flat. But that's okay, they'll still taste great. I started plating my stuffing, I put them in bowls, and with 1.5 minutes left, I chose the 2 best muffins that I had, and I put them on a little mini plate. There's too much of a time crunch to even taste test what I had made and what had just come out of the oven, so I just sprinkled some more peppermint on top and hope for the best. I hope the judges like it, but honestly, who knows?
The only thing that I was left worrying about was that I didn't really use the gravy in a creative way. I kind of just made it as the package said and then put it on the chestnut mush, but we'll have to see what the judges think.
Hello judges, hello chefs.
Hello.
The mystery ingredients were candy canes, gravy, chestnuts, and Brussels sprouts.
Max is gonna eat it!
And that's just a planned spoiler for a judge we're going to be seeing later on. We're going to start with the red dish in front of you. Chestnut mashed potatoes, don't knock it till you try it. This mashed chestnut, inspired by mashed potatoes, has an amazing spices from the mash you already know with a twist, and topped with gravy, accompanied by peppermint candied Brussels sprouts that are cooked all the way to perfection. Trust me, I know.
Very good presentation.
Yeah, beautiful presentation.
It's weird to have mashed chestnut.
It's weird to taste a bit of candy cane when you're eating Brussels sprouts.
This is a really good idea to take the chestnut and mash it.
Candy caned Brussels sprouts.
That's a really good combination. You
a
put
wombo
something you
combo.
really like, candy cane sweet, and if you don't really like Brussels sprouts, put them together.
Wombo combo.
Moving on to next dish. The next meal is a meal that shouts, "It's Christmas morning!" Olive bread, Brussels sprouts, and chestnuts, all tied together with gravy to form the scrumptious stuffing. To finish this meal, I have prepared a peppermint chocolate chip muffins. Oh, I'm Santa. I just wanted to hear Peter say that. Anyways, enjoy.
Wow, it tastes like a turkey dinner. Oh yeah, I like
This is really good.
it. Yeah, I do
I
like it.
this. This reminds me of stuffing my mouth. With stuffing.
This really does taste like turkey stuffing.
I'm just
but
gonna eat this
even
all.
this is a muffin. Okay. Did I say this is a muffin?
This is a muffin.
This is a muffin.
Take it in half.
Oh!
Oh, look at that.
Oh! And candy cane in there. I like it.
Yummy. It's good. To be honest, when I looked at it, I thought it wasn't going to be good.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, the looks are like not quite
Not very
there.
nice. Like
But-
this one has great presentation and tastes good
This
too.
one, it looks like it's not
one
going
is
to taste
like-
good, but it's surprising because it actually tastes really good. A lot to do in 45 minutes.
Yeah, I can't believe you girls made all this in 45 minutes.
Chefs, could you please give the judges some time to think?
Yep. I was actually very pleasantly surprised that the judges liked my dish, and the man judge did end up liking that peppermint twist on the Brussels sprouts, so
He has a name.
I don't want to say Nathan because he's my dad. But they had a lot more passion for Tia's dish, and they didn't really say anything bad about my dish, but they also didn't say anything bad about Tia's dish. They're not really good judges. I'm not that optimistic. I guess we'll have to see.
I feel really good with what the judges said, but honestly, they said the exact same thing to Mika's. I am this close to becoming the Chonked champion, and I'm not giving up now.
This is going to be a really tough call. We need a special extra judge. Max!
Since the judges are both basically the anti-Simon Cowell and the anti-Gordon Ramsay, at least we have a third judge that's going to be helping us out.
We put a little bit of each chef's dinner on these plates for Max to decide because really it all comes down to this. They're both so good. Okay, choose.
Go Max, go!
He's thinking. It's not an easy decision.
I'm really glad that Maximu chose my dish. You chose Tia's too?
Max has no discernment when it comes to food, we found out, so we're gonna have to make this decision. So, what do you think?
Well,
Presentation.
presentation, I would say this one definitely. I honestly like this taste a lot.
I didn't like this one a lot. I've had stuffing before, but I've never had chestnut mash.
When you first look at this dish, you kind of wonder, ooh, how is this gonna taste? But actually, it's very good. It makes me want to have more when I taste this. What's really great about it is it has chestnuts. Who would ever thought of putting chestnuts in their stuffing?
This one, because it incorporated other ingredients than just the 4 ingredients, it's a bit more complex, and I like the extra addition of the little dessert thing, which I love dessert, so yeah.
It was very good.
It was very- Have we arrived to our decision?
Chefs, would you please return? Whose dish is on the chonking? Chef Mika, you have been chonked.
No!
While this dish is exceedingly good and I like the creativity of the chestnut mash, which I've never had before, we felt it wasn't quite as complex as the other dish and the other dish. Exactly what Max is saying, I agree.
That means Chef Tia is the chonked champion.
What? I'm not a chef, I'm not a baker, but I somehow won Chonked. I feel so unqualified to hold this title, but honestly, I surprised myself a lot this episode, so I'm pretty happy. I'd like to point out and also thank the fact that we don't have any meat in this house right now, so that's probably why I won, because if my opponent would have made a spicy meat type dish, I would have died. So, thank you. Secondly, I'd like to thank Cooking Mama for being there since the very beginning, always inspiring me from those Nintendo days. And thirdly, I'd like to thank Flu for literally no reason.
I got second place again. I kind of saw that coming. All in all, I think the judges did a good job, and I think Tia deserved the win.
I can't wait to collect all my money and buy a limousine. Oh, it's gonna be
There's
beautiful.
no money.
Oh, and
Merry Christmas! Thank you so much.
Are you so tall now?
Thank you. What? Thank you, Beetle.
Hey guys, thank you for watching that video. If some of you guys know my channel, you may know that I set a goal at the very beginning, January, for 2020. Let's take a look at that.
Duh! It's really my time.
I have something even bigger to tell you. Another goal I'm doing for the rest of the year. And that goal is to release a video every single month. If you do the math and look at it, I kind of missed 2 months, but I'm gonna justify that by saying the months around it, I posted twice. So there's 12 videos. I think that's an absolute
It's
win.
okay, it's
Yeah, what do
fine,
y'all
it's
think
okay.
about that? Is no one gonna hit me? I'm not promising that I'm gonna keep any goals for 2021, but hey, stick around and
Hit that bell. We'll see you next time. And don't dislike. Actually, no. It's good for the YouTube algorithm.
to dislike.
To dislike as well. Yeah, it's the same thing as like. Do you know that? Everybody do a different heart. I like this one.
We hope
You.
we hope
You.
have a Merry
Chris.
Remember, God made you special, and He loves you very much. Goodbye!
If you made it this far, comment. Comment Cookie knows for an inside joke between us. Okay, bye.
You look like a